Welcome to the Sunstone Health Podcast, hosted by storyteller Justin Starbird and Josh Resnikoff, co-founder and CEO of TMA Precision Health. This podcast brings you inside the movement that's reshaping how we diagnose, treat, and care for patients who have spent years searching for answers. At the heart of it all, TMA's mission is to end the diagnostic odyssey through AI, data-driven insights, and expert human guidance.
Welcome back to the Sunstone Health Podcast. My name is Justin Starbird, and today I get to welcome back co-host and co-founder of TMA Precision Health, soon to be Sunstone Health, Josh Resnikoff. Josh, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too, man. I love that you got right there. This is the last TMA Precision Health, maybe anything forever.
It is pretty exciting. I mean, and that's what today is all about, is sort of wrapping up 2025. Here we are on the cusp of a new year. Just finished up a really wonderful holiday season with friends and family. So, really happy to, look back and excited to look forward.
Yeah, I totally agree. We always do a lot with family at the holidays. We celebrate Hanukkah and Christmas, obviously. And it's cool for me, like, my team is virtual, right? Like everybody is everywhere. And so we're all like trading text messages, and I got one person's in Colombia, and we got people up in Montreal doing their thing. And, it's really neat to build this small community and have everybody be so different and just like be adding their own flavor to the whole thing. So I don't know. It's great. I feel like it's very, a little microcosm of us in general.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this year was a year of growth, explosive growth, excitement, milestones, a couple setbacks here and there. And
No setbacks.
Huh?
No setbacks. No, I'm just kidding. There's always
Straight
setbacks.
line, right up.
Like, it's always 3 steps forward, 1 or 2 steps back, right? Like, but no, so much growth.
Yeah, as you look back, we only met back in, I want to say July or even August, then got to start working together on some stuff. But, talk a little bit about some of the things that you're really proud of that went down this year.
Where to even begin? I mean, this year has been so transformative for TMA, for the business, for me, for our market approach, right? Like, there are so many things that have really come together, things that feels like we've been working on for years, sort of individually, like trusting that they're going to work out. And then this is the year where it feels like all of those things like really started to come together, right? So I would say that for me, it really kicked off going out to start to sell to customers directly in Q1 and finding out at face value from direct conversations with people that what we were doing not just resonated, but like there was such a desperate need for what we had. And getting, showing up with zero customers to a conference and leaving with 250,000 lives 2 days later was like all the affirmation I needed to really just be like, okay, we're gonna go ring this bell. So that was in March, April. And then I just feel like it's been a dead sprint ever since, getting the WeFunder up and going, really seeing the response from the community, a massive intake of investors and support. That unlocked our ability to get to our first close with our round. We got to hire the team, cement everybody. We've seen just like the gelling effect of that and what we've been able to do from creating new software applications, new automations, new applications for patients, going out to Epilepsy Awareness Day, talking to families directly. We are coming into Q1 of 2026 right now with a stack of customer conversations that people who are so excited about what we're doing. We're expanding our remit. So we're not just talking about kids with epilepsy. We're talking about all kids with developmental delay, right? Like it has just been, it feels like we're on fire, and it also feels like I am staring down the barrel of even more fire next year. Like it's just going to get more crazy in a good way.
Yeah.
And I'm super psyched for 2026 if 2025 is anything to build a foundation on.
Not only is it something to build a foundation on, you have so much to look forward to. I think the blocks are certainly in place. I think, looking back, what were some things that happened that were unexpected that, you knew that you needed to build on, but didn't, you sort of were building the airplane as it's flying. What was that like for you?
Yeah, well, it's been like that for years, right? Like I think any founder, I know you've been through this yourself, right? Anyone who's building a business, like you're always kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? Like you're always like offsetting one risk with another, trying to figure out how to just get yourself to that next milestone. And I certainly don't feel like I can take anything for granted. But it feels like we get to be more deterministic and start to set and go after what are called impossible goals now, right? Like I don't have to worry about like, am I going to make payroll this month because we've got a little bit of cushion to do that. So I can set my people to task on building bigger and better things. You know, 6, 9 months ago, it's still really like a month by month application, even though we have the big picture in mind. And now I really get to be like, okay, well, what are we doing Jan 1, 2027? Right? Like, how are we ringing that bell? And that feels very cool.
Yeah. You mentioned a couple of big things that happened. Of course, I'm aware of a lot of them, but thinking about what it meant to go from all contractors and of course everyone's remote, but to be able to bring them on, what has that done to kind of spearhead the trajectory of the company?
You know, there's something there's really basic stuff, right? Like on the one hand, when someone's a contractor, they don't get to have the confidence, no matter how much they believe in the mission, right? And the only reason that people worked for me 9 months ago is because they thought I was doing something that was either beneficial or going to turn into something bigger, right? Like, but people like you still got to put food on your table, gas in your car, all that sort of stuff. So when you're a contractor, you don't have that security and you don't necessarily get to have that focus that this is your one client that you can go look at and build and just think about all the time,
Yeah.
right? And so the as much as people believe in what we do and are here for it and want to see us succeed, they still have to make sure that there's enough other work happening that they know that they'll have a paycheck coming in, and that splits their attention. And so the biggest thing right now, honestly, is instantly everybody just focuses on this. Everybody's just thinking about this all the time in a way that lets them not just solve like, hey, what's the next 2 week sprint, right? What's the next 2 week thing that we're going to do? But
Yeah.
how does that build in again to like, what's the bigger impossible goal that we're trying to attain in a year? And, bluntly, like everybody who works with me is a hard worker. So, you know, computer guys, like the engineering team, they'll be on calls at 9 o'clock in the morning and they'll be shooting me texts at 3 a.m. because they're staying up all night just coding. Like actually don't know when they sleep. Um, so it's just stuff like that, and then even little things like being able to go up and meet them and ask them for their time and I don't know, for me it makes us feel like a big boy company, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
I don't mean to diminish anything than all the hard work by all the people that have gone in for the last 5 years, but all of a sudden, like we have that founding team. It's like the Marvel One, right? Like you
Yeah.
just get your like squad, and I feel like now together we can go off and accomplish anything, and that is a really cool feeling.
No, that's awesome. And it certainly shows in the work that's coming out, right? Not only are they, maybe it's like around noontime they're sleeping, right? There's not a lot of meetings happening midday, I guess.
No, it's just you and me talking midday.
That's right. That's right. Another thing that happened was you decided to open the opportunity up for crowdfunding and do a community round through WeFunder. That gave you a gateway to close around with, some more traditional funding as well. Talk a little bit about what that journey was like to get there and what it's meant. Of course, we know that it's given you the opportunity to hire folks, but what has that done and what is that relationship like today?
The relationship with WeFunder?
Yeah, WeFunder and then your investors.
So it's all upside, right? Like everybody, whether rightly or not, is still like has a healthy skepticism of what is a crowdfunding, what is a community round signal to the wider space. You know, does it look desperate? Does it mean that you can't get money from traditional VCs? Is it going to work? Is it going to be a marketing snafu? Right? So I did a lot of groundwork, frankly, to be completely transparent, to like make sure that my investors knew that we were doing this as a way to engage with families and a way to give back, not as a way to go off and raise any kind of significant capital. I really wanted to frame it for them that it was a way for us to say thank you to our community, and so that they could ride with us and maybe profit with us when we become profitable. Obviously, it took on a total life of its own. We're at over $1.5 million right now in investment from the community. We plan on doing a lot more than that as we come into 2026 with this rebrand refresh. But really, I think for me, what it did is cemented this theory I had that there's a lot of people out there who are desperate for what we're providing. I mean, we have some big crowdfunding investments. There's a couple of families in for $100,000, a couple of doctors in for $50,000, but most of the people who are coming in are in the $100-$250 range, right? Yeah. And these are families who are working at grocery stores, who are driving Ubers, who have a kid who they are desperate for some kind of help with, and they want to see us succeed. And that trust, frankly, really puts a different kind of pressure on us to deliver, right? It's not just some fancy VC where if we don't do good, they're gonna write us off their books, right? And like, hey, no harm, no foul. Like, I have real people's money that I have to be a good steward of now and go deliver on for them. And it's a really powerful message, and it's a really powerful responsibility that we all feel to go off and do the right thing for these people.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's great. And it's been really interesting to see the responses both in person and on the comments, to see and hear what it means to them to be able to see a solution taking form, taking shape that will aid in others, maybe not in their specific recovery or in their specific journey, but in others that come after them. So I think that's really exciting and really neat.
Yeah. I just want to walk the walk, the same way. I think a lot of people are out there talking about it. And yeah, if we can be an actual solution for some of these families, that will be excellent.
Yeah. Well, before we move on to what you're looking forward to, is there anything else in 2025 you want to remark on, or maybe, share some, nuggets of wisdom that you learned along the way on some of those, one or two steps back before the propelling forward?
Nuggets of wisdom. I mean, I think like everything, it's, I made sure to put myself into uncomfortable situations. Like, I went to conferences that I never would have thought of before. I made sure to like shake hands with everybody. I think that there's a lot of spaces, like, I don't know the healthcare broker, well, I didn't know the healthcare broker world, the insurance world. I think we have a lot of preconceived notions about like the kind of people that inhabit those spaces, what insurance companies we're looking for. But there's a lot of really good people out there in these spaces who are trying to do the right thing, who are trying to make a positive impact. And really, I think kind of letting go of my founder bias to let the market also help me make a better fit for the solution that we wanted to go deliver. Yeah. Right? Like, the faster you can get there, I think, as a founder, the better it is, the better you will be, the better your company will be. And that I feel like I'm learning very much in real time.
Yeah. Well, we started the show off talking about all the things that have been about TMA and soon to be Sunstone Health. We're we're going to have a whole series related to the new company, but you made a strategic decision sometime in the fall to start to look forward and be more inclusive of a brand, of a company. What was the journey like to, you know, and again, we'll talk about this in more depth later, but from a high level, what is it like, to be able to do more than just epilepsy and take the journey beyond TMA to now be launching Sunstone Health?
You know, for me, it's really, it broadens our impact, right? And I think it lets us go off and potentially help a lot more families. But it also cements us into this space of really focusing on kids with developmental delay instead of just being what's generally called a point solution in this world. Like, hey, we help this one patient population. We're really excellent at uncovering the patterns to highlight these kinds of enriched patient populations. And the fact of the matter is we can help a lot of them, right, by driving a lot of similar resources into their care path. And for us to be able to take it from, something that we got really excellent at with TMA and being able to find these kids with an epilepsy condition or a genetic basis for that epilepsy condition, and then scale that out to cast a much broader net. That's really where we need to go. We need to grow in that way. And it doesn't really feel like it's not a pivot. It's more like becoming the company that we were supposed to be. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like we sharpened our blade on this one patient population, and now we get to go off and be this much bigger category of influence and application. And it just feels like we're looking at the whole picture instead of just a slice of it.
Yeah. Well, we kicked off with the Sunstone Health podcast as an ode to plans to come. And what are you looking forward to the most in 2026?
Uh, you know, what am I looking forward to the most? I think I am radically optimistic about the the environment that we are going to. I mean, don't get me wrong, employers are in a bad way, and that means that patients are in a bad way from a premium standpoint and the surcharges that are being imposed upon them by the broader market, right? So, like, we're coming into a space that is ripe for a solution for like ours because of a lot of pain, and so need to be cognizant of that. But for better or worse, we are coming into a market that is like desperate for something like us. And the response that we're already getting from people makes me always very optimistic about, like, this is our year to go off and just crush it, you know? Um, getting to tell a new story about a brand and getting a little bit of a refresh and really feeling like we're in the next phase of this effort.
Yeah.
That is super exciting as well. But honestly, like, I've met so many great people in 2025 in the insurance and the healthcare space and the health plan space. I'm super excited to work with them on a more deeper level in 2026, and then just see where the ripple takes us. Like, it's I think we're gonna grow like crazy this year.
Yeah. It's exciting. I feel like we're in one of those like live timelines where it's like, but right now we're kind of calculating things by month, in terms of like we started 5 or 6 years ago, and and we're gonna look back on this in 20 years and be like, yep, 2026, we went from TMA to Sunstone, and that'll be like the thing. So I'm really glad that we're documenting a lot of this stuff as we go, so we can go back and sort of pick up some of those milestones, those details, and the markers that made this transition so exciting.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and I don't know. I think about that kind of stuff a lot, and I try not to think about it a lot because you don't want to put all your eggs in a basket. You don't want to be overconfident. You still got to work your plan, but it certainly feels like the plan is working.
Yeah. Yeah. One day at a time, man. This has been great. I'm really appreciative of the opportunity to work with you and be able to hear your story, tell your story, and be, along for this ride. It's been really exciting. There's so much more to come.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were like, the fact that this is called the Sunstone Podcast. You guys were one of the first people that knew about the brand change.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that was the vision, right? The vision was to open up and be more inclusive, be not more broad, but even more specific to those audiences, so that there's an opportunity to do even more good.
yeah, yeah, and that's what it's all about, right?
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
Josh, I can't wait to see you for the next episode, where the Sunstone Health podcast will be then part of and powered by Sunstone Health instead of TMA
Absolutely.
Precision Health. So that's
Yes.
exciting, man. Thanks for being here today.
No, thanks for having me. It's great to just touch base at the end of the year. Have a great new year. Uh,
Likewise.
we'll talk to you in a couple days.
All right, sounds good. Hey, happy New Year to you as well. And like I said, looking forward to all to come. So
Yeah. All right, man. Good to see
on
you.
behalf of my guest and co-host, Josh Resnikoff, the CEO and co-founder of TMA Precision Health, again, soon to be Sunstone Health, you've been listening to the Sunstone Health Podcast. Until next time.